So it'll be interesting to see, I think, if the Australian version of 228 does the same sort of strategy or watch their their fellow 228 members on the North American side, play this match against SJR, and if SJR tries to do the same strat that they did last time. It didn't quite work out for him very well, so it'll be interesting to see if they change it up.
Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
Definitely. I mean, we saw 228 Wild Ones on this map as well. They played it incredibly aggressively as well, so we might have a clash of aggression here. But really, everybody's had a chance to look at each other. They see how they each play on this map, and we might see some hard counters in play. Who adapts the best? Really, as we saw with JGX, I mean, if you continue doing the exact same thing every time, all it takes is for somebody to pay attention, and they'll be able to counter you. Some early trades.
Opening trades here. Yeah, what's that?
Jay-Z and the Summoner
popped his
PPCs across. We have a Warhawk and a Direwolf in use for Steel Jaguar right now.
Wow.
They've taken Epsilon. We have Gamma.
There were some, I think, ER large lasers coming out of the Direwolf.
Two Gauss,
quick look at the loadout.
2 ER larges, and a bunch of ER meads coming out of Quicksilver in the Direwolf. Quicksilver loves that Dire, though. I've seen him use it before. We've had a lot of entertaining matches with Quicksilver in the Dire, so he's very comfortable in that mech. It all comes down to how he can, how well he can trade out. The Night Gear and Gut in the Arctic Cheetah posting up in Cakes. Cornite playing very passively on Cakes, though, way far back.
And 228's going for a 4-cap right now at Kappa.
Ooh, Magician with a bad peek in the Warhawk. They have a good angle on him in that north side, but yeah, Kappa is being contested here.
And they're not even contesting that at this point. 228's rolled over to support Kappa.
Ooh, a very nice strike over that Warhawk. Magician taking a big strike from the Theta region here. No, man! Ruza landing an airstrike. Arctic Cheetah to Arctic Cheetah. Blind fire strike. Nails him across Theta. And a 228 Wild One Arctic Cheetah has been killed on Theta. Ruza with the heads-up play. He is being kind of ghosted by an assassin on the right side, though. He's got to be careful. But he is perfectly fresh. What a big kill right off the bat.
And he's going to jump on that assassin as well.
He's definitely keeping him back around the corner here. But SJR kind of making a right side swing. They're setting themselves up in the south side. Well, there is a 4-cap tick, and they have time.
There's a 4-cap ticking, so 228's got the advantage, but Cornite is getting away with basically on his own crossing across the open next to Theta here.
Ooh, they are lined up for airstrikes big time here. 228 is...
and the Magician is taking them.
They're set up behind these domes, and a lot of... Steel Jaguar seems to be finding their footing now, and they're starting to get some punish in. They are flipping Epsilon, so we're going to see... assuming the damage stops on Theta, we're going to see a flip to 3-cap in favor of SJR, but as long as the damage continues to scratch in Theta... Well, it just got neutralized. Timberwolf in the back, Z-Failboat trading against Tear Up. Tear Up also face-to-face with the Assassin, who's putting some SRMs on him.
Quicksilver at 50% in that Direwolf right now. The Assault Mechs are very hurt.
There's a fresh Arctic Cheetah coming in on the backside. He's working Magician, trying to get some shots in, but here comes Gut going face-to-face. Jay-Z's right next to him, though, so they got to be careful how much they commit to that. But Gut versus Snowdragon.
Headless Chicken and the Assassin comes in. Quicksilver goes down, and the Direwolf, the Assassin gets the kill. And these lights are running around right now in SJR's backfield, and they're doing a world of damage. The Magician and the Warhawks, the next...
Oh my goodness! Double kill with the strike, but one of them was Snowdragon, a team kill. The strike nailed Snowdragon in that Arctic Cheetah.
Goes down.
And that is all lights and the Assassin down for Wild Ones now, but they did quite a bit of damage on that. It is 5-on-5, but Wild Ones is very hurt.
Put out the damage. Jaeger is hurt. Tear Up is hurt.
Yeah, Gut and Ruza alone can get in there and win this, and they are getting shots in on Lermgod in that Marauder 2C, who notably does not die. It's impossible to kill Lermgod, but there we go. Machine guns coming in. They are focusing him. He's still alive. Look at him tanking that. The machine guns coming in. He's at 30%.
Goes down. Look at how hurt these guys are. They've got to take him down.
Ruza can do this alone if he can just get the shots in, but what amazing tanking there. And Ruza goes down to Z-Failboat. 2 mechs remaining for Steel Jaguar, but everybody on the Wild Ones is hurt. Jay-Z's getting jumped by Gut right now. He's only got half of his machine guns, though. He does take down Jay-Z. Jaeger's working left side down to 34%. 2 versus
It's gonna
3.
become a cap issue too, though. And here comes Stone Falcon and the Hunchback 2C, the freshest mech on the field at 60%. Let's take a look at his loadout.
Come on, get in. I'm having issues getting into this mech. I want to look at him.
He's got an open torso.
Jaeger is getting into his favorite position
He's got one
here.
open torso, and that's it.
This Overwatch position could potentially do some work.
They're gonna have to keep an eye on.
There we go. Jesus, I was having issues clicking on this guy. So they've backed up. Caps are still flipping in favor of Wild Ones, but they have a little bit of time to play here. If they take it slowly, Jaeger still has all of his weapons, but he is open pretty much everywhere. He might be able to take a shot and survive, but if he can land a hit, he can pretty much kill anybody he shoots at. Gut takes out Z Failboat.
I don't know if they know Stone Falcon's coming around the side, though. Jaeger's going to get in trouble if he doesn't turn around.
Well, he turned around too, though. He turned around too, so they're playing a little bit of ring around the rosy here.
Maybe Stone Falcon's going after the cheetah. Let's take a look at Kondo's situation here. Lost a torso, but he's got his back open, but he's got some
Okay, Stone Falcon's
front
getting
armor.
in the face of Jaeger. I don't know if he knows he's there or not, but sorry for the camera issues there, but we are back in the Overwatch. These guys have a little bit of a standoff. Let's see Stone Falcon. How is his mech doing? 59%.
Gut's going to cap Sigma.
He's got ER Smalls and ER PPC, and it's going to take more than one shot to kill him. Stone Falcon can do significant amounts of damage to Jaeger, but Jaeger is keeping his head down. Kondo, on the other hand, here, he could take a few shots as well. I mean,
And he's
the Wild Ones are not.
He knows where Gut is.
Wild Ones are not nearly as bad as the percentage would make it seem, but they are flipping caps back, and Jaeger finally taking some shots in on Stone Falcon. Just to confirm, well, Z Failboat died, didn't he? So is this 2-on-2 right now?
Yeah, Z Failboat died. It's 2-on-2.
Okay, so they've got a good spread, but
And
Caps
gonna go for the other cap.
Yeah,
Caps
this
are gonna
is
start playing in SJR's fashion, I think.
Yeah, I mean, all they have is
600
Theta.
points.
It's gonna force them to spread out. One of them heading to Sigma, one of them heading over to Epsilon, maybe. Stone Falcon is a
coming
huge
around the
threat
corner.
here. If he gets
Yeah.
a vision on Jaeger, he can take him out in one shot.
And
He doesn't
Jaeger
see him.
is
Oh, he sees him now. He's gonna maybe take a
open.
shot.
He's
He
open.
gets a hit.
Oh,
Jaeger ducking around behind the
Jaeger
corner,
gets
but
away with it.
Stone Falcon heading to Epsilon. Tickets now 100 away, but the 4 cap is going to add up really quick. But they're going to switch it back to 3 in favor of Wild Ones here, which might be enough to seal the deal. Jaeger took a really long run, and that's actually going to cost him because
yeah,
Epsilon's going to flip.
To go that far out
That
of the fight.
was a little bit far out of the fight. He kept his mech alive, but losing Epsilon and Sigma simultaneously is going to be very bad. Now, Gut will be able to at least head up to Theta, might be able to flip it back, but 3 cap at this point maybe can win, but the period of time where they're continuing to hemorrhage here is going to add up real quick.
Having Gut out of the fight for that long is really hurting them.
Having a Jaeger out of the fight?
Jaeger,
yeah.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so Theta's going to flip back. That's going to help. Oh, but he
Ooh,
stops the
Mondo's
cap.
getting some shots
That
in.
was a big hit. Theta still in favor of Wild Ones. Gut taking that hit cost them time. He's trying. Okay, he's got the neutralization, but that might have been enough to seal it.
With that shot.
That was a pretty big one right there. Gamma's now going to fall. Jaeger continues to be out of the fight, which isn't helping at all. I think this is going to go heavily in favor of it. Not even heavily, but this is going to go to Wild Ones right now. Gamma's about to flip, and that's going to be it.
They've got Theta. Gut needs to move. He can't be hanging out there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very close drop 1 going in favor of Wild Ones. What an intense fight. Look at all the carnage over Theta right now.
I think you're right. I think if Jaeger had not run so far out of the map, they could have at least contested Gamma and won that one. But they ceded basically 2 cap points by Jaeger taking that, trying to get out of dodge there.
So a little bit of a misplay there. Obviously, Jaeger in very dire straits, but at the very least, he could have prevented the cap on Epsilon if he played it right. Or at least by his death, maybe distracting him enough to keep him from capping that point for a period of time. But Jaeger basically trying to protect the assets of his mech. And that tour essentially made this a 1v2 cap race in favor of Wild Ones. But what an intense... really, just looking back, Lermgod is impossible to kill. I don't understand what is with Lermgod in that Marauder 2C that no matter what amount of fire that man is taking, he does not die. I don't understand it at all. I just don't get it. He just did not go down. And that period of time with 2 light mechs just wailing on him with machine gun fire from 2 different angles. He's wide open. His percentage just continues to drop. And they can't kill the Marauder 2C. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense. But that period of time where he's basically tanking for his team...
It's making a world of difference, especially with these cap strats.
They're able to stack up the kills then on SJR to bring it close. I mean, I thought SJR had that.
Yeah.
And they really were tearing down Wild Ones. And then on that final scrum, right at the end there, they're tanky as hell. Marauder 2C just absorbed that amount of damage. And then we saw some crazy strikes coming in, getting both team kills and kills. I mean, we had, I think, one 228 mech and 2 Steel Jag mechs died like within a second of each other.
The replay, yeah, there were what, like 3-4 kills showed up on the team, on the listing right there during that moment.
That was so much stuff happening just simultaneously. I do kind of want to go and take a look at that for sure. But they're going to be doing the map banning phase shortly here, and then we will take a look. Let's see, past broadcasts. I want to watch that one again. That was totally worth it. All right, we'll get up to what the hell just happened. So, I mean, it was a very... standoffish little finish at the end there. Gut, of course, bringing it close by finishing off the weaker Timberwolf there. But yeah, well, let's get this replay up here. The replay source, okay. Well, not exactly what I was going. Oh, we'll go full screen. Oops. Alright, so Lermgod there begins to tank. Ruza is hitting JZ as well, but he was hitting Lermgod. Lermgod finally dies. I think this is after that strike, actually. I'm going to back it up a little bit further here. Just because I want to see that.
Yeah, that is after the strike.
That was when Snowdragon died, I think. Okay, here we go. Most everybody's live. Alright, well, quick, we're going to show the ban phase. Tormline, Candy Network, Poor Polar, Rip.
Poor Polar.
So is it going to be mining or HP? Oh, we're going back to mining.
Mining again.
All right. Will do. All right. Where are we? Snowdragon's still alive, 91%. He's running around the outside. Yeah, those lights got in on the backside of SJR. Started doing some work there. Nice strike. Headless Chicken and the Assassin taking out Quicksilver and the Direwolf. Snowdragon getting in there with a Headless Chicken. And they're just basically making those big mechs turn around. Getting a lot of good backcourts in. Magician. Oh, okay, let's pause that right there. Let's just take a step back. That was such a huge strike. Snowdragon and the Cheetah drops it. Kills Magician. Alright, well, Snowdragon actually was right in there shooting. He kills Magician. Z Failboat and the Timberwolf then killed Dracula in the Hunchback 2C with the strike, but also killed Snowdragon in that Arctic Cheetah. So that was a strike that was basically a 1-1. It killed a teammate and killed an enemy. But then Snowdragon in there just before, literally just before he died, killed the Magician. And maybe the strike would have killed Magician if Snowdragon didn't. So it could have been a 2-kill strike before that. But just a lot of risky plays there with the strikes. But then Ruza and Gut, basically fresh. I felt Ruza and Gut could have won it right here. I really did. And so we'll zoom in a little bit forward to when they start working on Lermgod. Here we go. Tear Up getting really good burns on him. Lermgod up in front, just being wailed on. And he's got, like, ER large fire in on him. 47%. He's still alive. Ruza getting in on the back. What a huge strike across JZ and Kondo there. There's just so much damage going downfield here that just the fact that there weren't more kills for SJR was just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. They finally got Lermgod, but SJR starts losing more mechs. Ruza died. How did Ruza get killed? That's a big play there, too.
That was Z Failboat, I think.
He jumped across.
Got a good shot right in the back.
He's dead at this point. We're just going through. So he's at 63%. Ruza's working that right side. Oh, the strike went across, and Z Failboat with a nice... Just a sweep on him. I think it hit him right in the back. The strike added up to it as well. And then Gut having only half his machine guns, that definitely puts just hurts some of the output there. But Wild Ones making some of the clutch kills when they needed it the most. And then they still had a chance rolling the 4 cap at the end there. But a little bit of a misplay then by Jaeger, not really complimenting Gut properly, I guess, protecting his mech
Jaeger
too
just
much.
needed to use his ranged weapons to try and delay caps rather than stay alive.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I mean, staying alive obviously is important, but you've got to put fire down. He was basically just removed himself entirely from the engagement, so it was 2 versus 1.
Yeah, they might have been able to win with the 3 cap, losing Theta Sigma. I mean, Theta could have still been flipped back by Gut, although that was heads up play then to prevent the cap on Theta was pretty big as well, just to slow things down. But yeah, I agree. I think Jaeger could have played a big part in putting some of that damage downfield just to stop the cap. I don't know if he had strikes. In the replay it shows that he has strikes, but there's currently a bug that I think is getting fixed, where consumables are showing up as available in spectator.
I would certainly assume he doesn't.
So I'm assuming he used those strikes,
yeah.
But if he had a strike, it would have played a big part in stopping that Epsilon cap. But really, even if it's not shooting the guy while he's on the cap, just distracting him and playing, you could play super passive but still make a presence to force that mech to not comfortably take Epsilon. I think that would have helped a ton. But really, after we got in and took a look at how healthy the Wild Ones mechs are, even though they were crit, they were open torsos and stuff, they were both clan mechs, and they both still had a fresh torso available, and their CTs were fine. It would have taken more than one shot to kill those mechs, compared to how essentially one-touch the SJR mechs were. They had a lot of work to do, and they could have pulled it off potentially, but it didn't play out that way. But that is only drop 1. It is a best of 3 series, so we will be getting in shortly here to look at drop 2 on Mining Collective. Teams have switched, still on the Oceanic server, but we'll have to see. And maybe there's some registration issues that SJR might not be used to. I don't know if they had practice on the Oceanic server at all, but you know, hard to say. It really is. I mean, they got to be prepared for this if they want to pull it off, and they knew going into this that the Oceanic server was going to be a distinct possibility in some of these matches. So this is, of course, the fight to survive. If SJR falls to Wild Ones in this match, in this drop, SJR will be eliminated from the semifinals, and Wild Ones will continue on.
Continuing the potential for a 228 versus 228 match coming up.
That is definitely a possibility.
Of course, that is dependent on 228 Blackwatch losing their match. They are still in the winner's bracket.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling they don't want to end up in the losers bracket and fight against their own team, because that means one of them will be going home. I'm sure they would rather see both 228 teams in Vancouver. I think that would make that unit extremely happy, and that is, of course, is something I'm sure they are working towards and are desiring. But here we go, drop 2. It's win or go home for Steel Jaguar, but that was so close that this could easily go either way. sides are switched. SJR has this east side. That means Cake control will go to Wild Ones. And here we go. We got Night Gear, 2 Marauder 2Cs, and a Summoner up the right flank near Sigma here for Steel Jaguar. Are we going to get an early cap from Gut on Theta? Looks like Rhodes is going to contest it.
Going to have a contesting here. And Gut's not going straight for Theta, but I wonder if he's going to try and stop it.
He sees the flash. He's got to see the flash. He's got to know he's there. Yeah, he's looking that direction. Theta has been sweep capped. So
I'm
if
really
Gut
surprised
decides
he didn't
to take
contest that.
I am too. Gut could try to take it, but at the same time, I think that this guy here, Stone Falcon, is going to have a really good look and would be able to
just took a ton of fire right now. SJR is grouped up at the Sigma line, and there's not a whole lot of 228 mechs able to respond to that at the moment.
They have Snow Dragon on the right side in the Arctic Cheetah, but the rest of them are bailing out of this region here. Yeah, definitely good hits in on Z Failboat on the initial. Magician might get a shot in on Snow Dragon, but he's playing far back. Might not get a good burn on him. But they've taken that right side. Some scratch coming in on Ruza. A little bit of just a kiss between Ruza and Snow Dragon there. But Cakes has Kondo in the Supernova. He was forced to drop down as SJR made yeah, it's Lermgod in a Supernova now. He's not in that Marauder 2C. But that SJR push forcing them kind of down off of Cakes, and that's going to allow Steel J to comfortably move up. But 3 cap to 1 in favor of Wild Ones. SJR can't stay grouped up for long. They're going to have to really make their push at some point here. Looks like an arty strike coming in. Might get a little bit of scratch on Cornite and Magician.
Looks like Gut and Ruza may be moving towards Kappa, but they're going to take some crossfire going across here and not moving towards Kappa, actually.
I think we're going to see some heavy aggression here from Steel Dragon. Nice hit on Snow Dragon. That was a hard one to hit, too. Caught him on the downswing as he was retreating out of the Theta region. Z Failboat looks like he's getting a little bit caught out, but I have no doubt in my mind we're going to see a big push here from Steel Jag. Nice strike across Stone Falcon.
Across Stone Falcon.
They're starting to put the damage down finally, but this Steel Jag push is going to be big. It's got to come. If it doesn't come, they're just going to bleed out.
It's a 4 cap right now.
They don't have a lot of time for this. They're going to have to finish the job. And if we end up into a situation where it's 2v2 again, I don't think SJR is going to be able to fight that cap. The lights are swinging around the right side with Tier up in tow. And I think they're prepping to hit him from both sides. Nice strike on Kondo there.
Realizes it.
They've got him a little bit surrounded here, but at the same time, we've got Z Failboat behind SJR. If there is a push, they could start getting hit in the back by this assassin here. Headless Chicken coming in. He's going to get in on the backside of Cornite and Magician here in a second. Tear Up takes out Kondo in that Supernova, but here comes Headless Chicken in on the backside of Magician, and here comes the hits to the rear torso. Magician takes a shot. He turns around to respond. He might end up exposing himself to the others, though, but Megs is quickly backing up and putting those guys in front of him. Magician now getting jumped by Rhodes. He's not long. Ruza coming to response, but Magician goes down. I think he had a bad overheat at the end there and gets cleanly taken out. Rhodes coming in on the backside of Ruza as he tries to get Headless Chicken, but Rhodes actually didn't see it coming. And we've got a 2v2. Cornite goes down.
Cornite goes down.
Quicksilver's fresh, though. He's going to start working on that assassin. Stone Falcon goes down. Hunchback on Hunchback action. Ruza working on JZ. Here. Rhodes takes down Dracula. People are dying left and right, but Steel Jag has the edge up. Rhodes getting some damage in on the back of Jaeger. But Headless Chicken down underneath working on Gut in that Cheetah. Jaeger's right there too, put some shots in on him. But Rhodes is getting some nice hits. A little bit of a strike across the way. That might have been some...
Headless Chicken just got legged here.
He should be able to be taken down pretty quick here. 27%. Jaeger working on him with Tier Up, but those machine guns coming in. A nice strike across Tier Up there. Doing some significant damage. Both Gut and Tier Up down underneath, and Jaeger just trying to do something to this Arctic Cheetah. But we've got a 5 cap now for Wild Ones. Caps are definitely going to be a factor. Quicksilver working on JZ
right now.
That'll be able to flip Theta if he could take him out relatively quick, but they are hemorrhaging badly. And with Rhodes on the field still, Quicksilver does get JZ. I think SJR is starting to split up, but that fresh Arctic Cheetah is still in play.
And Rhodes got Gut down. That's big.
And he was able to take out Gut Rhodes might be able to do some work here. They're starting to flip caps. Epsilon flipping, Kappa flipping. Sigma has been flipped by an extremely hurt Z Failboat, but he is still a threat. Looks like Rhodes is going to work towards Gamma.
Get some fire in.
Ruza is going to have to do something against Rhodes here because Gamma's going to fall. We've got now a 4 cap in favor of Steel Jag, but I don't know. Wild Ones might be able to win it with 1 cap. It's hard to say at this point, but Rhodes is going to flip it too.
Can hold Sigma.
This fight over Sigma is going to be big. This fight over Sigma is going to be huge right here. If he takes Tier Up, this is going in favor of Wild Ones.
There.
Oh no, that's costing him time. Tier Up thought he could get between the tanks, but he can't, and he's going to expose his back to this Timberwolf, who is waiting for him. He has no idea he's there. This might be a big play by Z Failboat.
He knows he's there. He knows.
Okay, he sees he's there. He's able to take him out. That means Sigma's going to fall.
If they can neutralize Sigma and hold off the Gamma cap, this fight at Epsilon Gamma, Ruza versus Rhodes, if Ruza can stay alive,
so
SJR can win this.
Somehow Ruza was able to hold off that Gamma cap. Rhodes is now retreating back to Gamma.
Backing off. Ruza's doing the right thing. Don't give up on this fight.
That was definitely a big play by Ruza to stop that Gamma cap, but he's going to have to keep it up.
His teammates come over. He's going to have to hold this cap off.
They could start isolating this light mech now. Looks like Gamma did get flipped. Ruza was not able to stop it in time. Rhodes' big heads-up play, getting behind cover and allowing the flip, and he's flipping it as long as possible. Ruza is able to chase him off.
Get in there.
Yeah, if Ruza can neutralize this, SJR might have just done it. But Rhodes is going to put some pressure on Ruza. Quicksilver coming up behind him. They're working the cap here. This is all about Gamma at this point, but the SJR mechs are responding, and I think they might be able to pull it off.
Ruza just got legged.
Oh, Ruza gets taken out. Rhodes is bailing out. He gets legged, and that's going to be it.
That's game.
That's game right there. Taking out Rhodes' leg. Very intense, close finish there, but it is going to go in favor of Steel Jag. Jaeger in to get the big finish, and that is it. 5 cap, 2-0. We'll flip this instantly in favor of Steel Jag. That was a good effort by Wild Ones, though. They were doing the right stuff. It just, some of those early kills just added up, and it was so close, though. That was so close. Some of the big kills really
work in that match, though.
760 damage, 2 kills, 5 assists from Quicksilver, 3 kills, 467 out of Tier Up. He definitely was doing some work as well. 500 out of Jaeger in that Summoner, 2 kills, 5 assists with those PPCs. He was able to land them. But we're going into Game 3, ladies and gentlemen. You know me, I love 2-to-1 decisions. That was a hell of a way to get there. If there was so many if-thens, like, if Z Failboat was able to take out Tier Up on that point, it would have gone Wild Ones, hands down.
Yeah.
Like, that, the importance of that one little exchange.
Saw him earlier in that engagement, and as he was moving over to that tank, and was watching the whole time and never saw him come out from the other side of the tank. So I think he understood that Z Failboat was sitting there waiting,
and
which was the right move by Z Failboat.
It's probably what Tier Up would have done if he was in that position. He would have waited to stop the cap, and I don't blame him one bit. He was just really weak. He did distract him from capping the point, Tier Up from capping the point for a small period of time, which helped. But if he won that fight somehow. I didn't get a chance to see how hurt Tier Up actually was. If he was hanging on by a thread, if it all came down to just making the shot as he came whipping around the corner.
It was one shot by Tier Up that killed him.
Was Tier Up one shot though?
Tier Up was one shot too. Yes.
So basically, if Z Failboat landed his shot before Tier Up did, that could have been a completely different outcome right there, because we had. Quicksilver and Jaeger and Ruza all committed to the other cap. That means Z Failboat would have had the cap all to himself and would have had time to maybe even switch over to the other. That could have flipped it in favor of Wild Ones. But the importance of that one exchange going in favor of Tier Up there was gigantic. And they were able to kill him. That won that cap for them, and then it was able to be a 3 versus 1 against the slippery light mech for Wild Ones. Rhodes just doing some work there. And not only that, but can't downplay, I guess, the importance of somehow, I didn't get a chance to see how, but Gut interrupting the cap against Gamma there. Bought them some time as well. Really, that came down to seconds, though.
With some good play, trying to distract Rhodes from originally getting the cap and then fighting him over the cap.
Little bit of switch up here. SJR with the final ban and not wanting to head back to Mining Collective after that drop 1 loss on that side. Steel Jaguar, of course, Team 1, opting to switch it up to HPG Manifold now. So we are heading to a different map for drop 3, so it's going to be a little bit of a wild card. Still on the Oceanic server, but anything can happen now. I mean, they've got a good look at each other on Mining Collective, but we could see a completely different set of strats coming out here on HPG.
Yeah, and this is kind of exactly, I think, what we were hoping for when we looked at the schedule for today. All these matches that were coming up. A best of 3, 1-1 game. Winner goes on. Loser is out of the tournament. This is going to be exciting. And on a map that has either team played on HPG Manifold in the semifinals so far?
I don't recall. I know Wild Ones and Steel Jag both had a lot of sets on Mining Collective.
Yeah, they both played a lot of Mining Collective earlier.
So this is going to be a very unique look in at these two teams, something we haven't really been able to analyze before. So, but really, it all comes down to this for these two teams. Loser goes home. And I can't wait to see how this plays out. Both teams getting into their mechs, getting set up and ready to play, and we'll be dropping in shortly. Just a reminder, great crowd out there, 280 people watching right now at this glance. Great crowd, waking up early to watch some MechWarrior Online action.
Or staying up late.
Or staying up late, of course. Or just, I don't know, if you're European, just existing in your prime time, I suppose. But yeah, just a reminder, if what's up? What?
Just existing.
Just existing.
That's
exactly
what Europe does, right?
That's apparently at this time of day they just exist. But just a reminder then, all you got to do is speak in chat, say something, cheer on your favorite team, get some hype here, Steel Jag versus Wild Ones, or if there's another team that you want to see them play coming up here, just start talking in chat. You will be entered automatically into the roulette for giveaways at the end of the match. We do a set of giveaways at the end of every series, and get in there, start cheering. It's been a great series so far. It's going to be good.
And chat is loving it right now.
Almost pooed myself. Exothermic. I share that sentiment, man. That was a little bit of a clencher right there. It was a lot closer to flipping the other direction than I think some people might realize. Even though SJR had a lot of mechs up on the field, the ticket advantage in favor of Wild Ones was substantial. And if, like I said, if they won that cap, there could have been a completely different outcome, even with all the SJR mechs that they had alive. But we saw that we were calling for the aggression from Steel Jag, and it was coming slowly. With the 4 cap against them, they were kind of running out of time, but they eventually got in there. But a lot of back and forth. 228 mechs coming in on the backfield of Magician, and just a lot of big kills, just adding up to an incredibly close match right there. But, oh, man, both teams are about to get readied up, and we'll be heading into HPG Manifold. What do you think we're going to see here out of these two teams?
I wouldn't be surprised to see, what's this, Team 1? Which team has the walkway? That's what I need to know.
The catwalk?
Is that Team 2? Yeah, catwalk.
Looks like E6 is where it is, so Team 1 gets the initial catwalk.
Has the catwalk.
Yep, and catwalk can be a pretty
if Steel Jag lines up on catwalk. I kind of expect the Team 1 to always play catwalk. It's such a strong position on HPG, but you really can do kind of whatever you want on HPG. But I haven't seen 228 willing to do like a moving power position before, which is something that can be effective against catwalk.
Of course, on the map here, that is what we're talking about, Catwalk. It has the ramp up this side. It has a ramp up the inside as well. And then, of course, they can line up pretty much anywhere on top. But really, the big thing is that they're able to effectively get there first and then fire down, causing an area denial of pretty much this entire region here. So if 228 is going to push hard into them, it's going to be through a hail of fire. And then even if 228 manages to get up the Catwalk ramp, all SJR has to do is shift to center then and be able to continue putting fire in the entire time, essentially, that 228 would approach. So that's one of the key positions here, but, you know, anything can happen in this one. And we're getting in and about to take a look as these dropships come in. Man, what a great way to
start your day.
Yeah, great way to start the day too. We of course have a lot of Mech Warrior left to play today. So we are over on the Wild Ones side. We've got dual assassins this time. So I think we're gonna have a little bit of a maybe they're thinking SJR a duck down.
Oh, they were running one assassin last time,
yeah,
right?
They had a Hunchback 2C as well, I believe. So they went really fast with 2 Cheetahs, 2 Assassins, 2 Marauder 2Cs, and a Night Gear. Some initial trade going, everybody kind of whiffing coming out of the gate here. Looks like the Steel Jaguar Lance with their Marauder 2Cs and Summoner is starting to work their way up. Core Knight and the Hunchback 2C dropping off the wall. Not sure if that was intentional or not. I don't think he meant to do that. He just fell off the gate. That's going to cost him a little bit of time.
Probably not intentional.
Probably not intentional, but they are getting their guys set up on the Catwalk
Quicksilver location. Not going to Catwalk right now, or not directly. Jaeger up on Catwalk, but
the Theta cap is swinging out for Wild Ones, so we got a 3 cap for Wild Ones. But if Steel Jaguar sees that there's 2 assassins on the field, they might feel a little bit more comfortable with just pushing and trying to just win on the fight.
They'd have to get their mechs off the wall there.
Yeah, they would. Core Knight getting some hits in on him. He's not having a very good day, at least at the start of this drop, but we'll see if he can start putting some of that damage downfield in that Hunchback 2C, finally getting up to the position that he originally wanted. If these Cheetahs decide to go in and fight over Theta, 2 assassins and 2 cheetahs versus 2 cheetahs. I'd call it for the assassins.
That's an easy, that's an easy win.
Call. Nice strike across Kondo in that Marauder 2C. A bit of a leftward switch here by Wild Ones. They're shifting hard left, just trying to get into just a trade position here. Nice strike on top of Lerm Guide. What a great Artie strike right there, just continuing to pummel these guys as they shift left. The assassins and the cheetah on the left side here. That little wolf pack though can do a lot of work.
Top.
Those guys are unchecked.
Cheetahs up top are going to get a lot of damage in if they're not going to get any fire back, and they aren't.
This is starting to add up against Wild Ones big time.
Rotating out, I think, though.
We're going to see some big push here. Nice strike right across Lerm God. We're going to see a big scrum here as Wild Ones finally gets in position. Jay-Z causing a little bit of a traffic jam, preventing Rhodes from moving up. But here we go. The brawl is about to start, but
getting a lot of fire. He's the focus target.
He is the focus target, but Wild Ones is taking a lot of damage.
Of this.
Z-Failboat with a team kill on Jay-Z. That Summoner goes down. So it's 1-on-1 right now in terms of kills. Gut standing up on top, hitting blunt object.
Is very hurt right now.
Gut he is able to get that assassin down. That's a big kill there for Gut.
That's a big kill too.
Snow Dragon and the Cheetah getting chased, but he's trying to get it on the backfield of the Magician. Nice strike across him as well.
Down. SJR has this match under control right now. Kondo is beat up. He's getting shot from all directions. These wall mechs are doing work.
Kondo has nowhere to go. He's not long for this world. Rhodes does manage to get Magician, but it's stacking up against them. 6 mechs against 3.
This light pack is all that's left right now.
They are working on Quicksilver, but they just lost another assassin and the backcore on Snow Dragon. This is going in favor of Steel Jaguar in impressive fashion. That push by Wild Ones just fell short. They took a lot of damage on the approach. Those wall mechs are doing a fantastic job. And really, Wild Ones going into that, as weak as they were, that was almost done before it started, to be perfectly honest.
They pushed into... They gave up the top deck, pushed down low. They had Cheetahs on Theta standing above them. They had the Hunchback 2Cs on the wall, and they were pushing into a firing line. That was great positioning by SJR. I don't agree with the strategy to push off of the high ground by 228 there.
Yeah, I mean, that was after such an intense first two matches. That was definitely a clean win for SJR. They got to feel pretty good about how that one was executed. The HPG, just the wild card there, able to flip it heavily in favor of SJR, just coming in and setting up a very nice firing line, doing a lot of work. And really, it came down to those early strikes and that early scratch, just working those Wild Ones mechs down before the fight even started. Damage heavily in favor of SJR. They did have Snow Dragon do impressive 447 despite the circumstances in that Arctic Cheetah, but they never were able to fully realize the capabilities of the dual assassin, dual Arctic Cheetah combo. That actually, I think, was a detriment to them. I understand kind of what they were going for. They just never had the opportunity to execute. If that wolf pack properly got in on the backside of SJR and started tearing up some of their larger mechs in the backfield, that could have gone differently. But bottom line, the assassins and the cheetahs just never really had the opportunity to get in there and mix it up. And that, with that, then they're missing that Hunchback 2C and some of the other mediums they could have had to do more of that work. And essentially, just in terms ton for ton, Wild Ones, you know, they played SJR's game with a Wild Ones deck, and it did not go at all, I'm sure, as they were expecting it to.
Yeah, I really just think the call to mass push off the side, you know, give up the high ground, come low and swing wide around the center there in HPG. I think 228 is going to go back at that. The drop callers are going to go back at that, look at that, and say that was just a misplay from the very start. You gotta use, you know, I think with the deck that they brought, you need to try and slow trade it. Try and, you know, not take too much damage, but slow trade, work your wolf pack around the side, try and get them, you know, hidden away underneath, come out, and then put the pressure on, have your wolf pack jump in there and start mixing it up. But instead, they kind of all just grouped up in one clump and moved as a group. But, you know, they had half ranged, half wolf pack sort of thing. It just didn't work out well for them.
Absolutely, but really solid setup there by SJR. They had a little bit of kind of oopsies and stuff on the wall, but Core Knight able to get up there and do a significant amount of work and really start pouring that damage out. I mean, who knows? Maybe even that delay on the wall gave him more of an opportunity to kind of get where he needed to be at the right time. And, you know, that is kind of the counter to the catwalk, is to just come around the other side. But at the same time, that leaves such an open field between you and your opponent as you're approaching. And as we saw, I just was impressed by just seeing Gut standing up, silhouetted on a pedestal, wailing on, I think, an assassin, I think it was. Just wailing on him with a stream of Wild Ones mechs just surrounding him, but they weren't shooting at him because they were all distracted by other things going on. And just Guts just standing up there like, ah, just shooting as hard as he could. And he got a kill for it. He was doing a Rambo thing, and he's just mowing people down. And he was able to do it without penalty. And, you know, you'd think that Wild Ones, they all would have just looked at him, seen a guy standing there silhouetted to their entire team, and just one-shot him. But they were all occupied with the battle at hand, and were not able to capitalize. And you always say, never stand still in a light. I mean, obviously that's not a law, it's just a kind of a generalization, but
it's a pretty good
Gut
idea.
Just stood there. Gut just stood there, maybe rocking back and forth slightly, and just unloaded on the assassin and took him out in spectacular fashion. I mean, essentially 1v6 if you call it like that, but it was good. And just wailed it out of it. There's already people saying that in chat, and they haven't even heard me say it. There are all these bandit-isms, and apparently they're not long for this world. I'm just trying to think of all the weird shit that I say through all this casting, but
I think people have been noticing that.
They've been noticing it.
There you have it. I think chat kind of agrees. 228 made a little bit of a miscalculation in their strategy there,
right.
Pushing down low, swinging wide. It's tough to see after those two matches were so close on kind of a more passive trading, SJR was aggressive in the last one, but 228 forced them to be. This one, 228 was up on caps, weren't they? They had 3 cap too.
Yeah, they took Theta. That I think maybe they were hoping that SJR would do a little bit more of a standoff and that they'd be able to use their assassins to play more of a cap game.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do think the assassins were intended to be a little bit more of a backstab wolf pack, because they've done really well with their wolf packs in the past, but it didn't add up. I guess they never got the opportunity to utilize that, but really just SJR setting up a nice firing line right in the backfield here as 228 essentially came up around. They got the early cap on Theta, but then ultimately came charging around this side right into the main line, and this is where the killing field was, right there. So well played though by 228 just in general. Wild Ones making a game out of it, taking it to the third matchup there, and Steel Jag with the final ban smartly switching over to HPG, and they had a plan and they executed it well against Wild Ones. I don't know if it would have went back to Mining Collective. I think it would have been an extremely close match, and maybe Wild Ones would have been able to pull that one off again. But the other thing too
be able to play on all 5 maps.
Is Wild Ones taking the 3 cap, but then aggressing into Steel Jag right into their firing line. You know, they could have slow rolled that a little bit.
I think they needed to slow roll that one with their deck.
The only thing is, though, is
they had 4 fast mechs on the field.
I feel like they didn't slow roll it specifically because they had guys up on the wall that were getting shots in. The only other thing I can think of is if they sent like their main body downstairs to just hold Theta, keep the wolf pack in the back, and then if SJR feels pressured to maybe send a light outside, maybe the wolf pack can run the light down, kill the lights. Obviously the wall guys could have been a threat to that wolf pack, but they could have been able to get a gank. Or SJR decides to push Theta, and then that wolf pack can be realized by coming in and dropping in behind them as they push down underneath into that fight. Maybe that would have worked out better for Wild Ones, but they opted to just go aggressive right into that kill zone, and I do think that was a bit of a misplay. Not really utilizing their deck properly, not really utilizing their map control properly, and then...
the other thing you got to wonder is how much information did 228 have, because that's the other part I think that gets forgotten in a lot of these games, right, is that we get to see everything from the top-down view. Right. We got the mech highlighted, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
These guys are relying on the calls of their teammates. The drop caller is sitting there trying to gather information from their teammates saying, I see a mech over here. I see a mech over here. It's this, it's that. It's running this loadout. It could have simply been just bad information, right? Saying, oh, you know, they've got whatever. And suddenly you push in and you realize we've got Arctic Cheetahs in your back. You've got guys up on the wall, and you've got, you know, heavies and assaults, you know, set up in a nice concave.